Do you want to be able to create a completely custom investment portfolio where you have all the control? You pick each position's weight and risk tolerance. Well, my friend, you've come to the right place, because in today's video, we're going to show you just how much power you can have in your own investments, like you should, and how it can all be done simply and safely on one easy to use and follow platform. Welcome on in here to the TC Trading channel. Let us dive right on in. So, step one, we are going to download the Webull app from the App Store. If you don't already have that, well, there'll be a link in the video description box down below to get signed up with a Webull account and then download the app from there. So, we're going to be using something called the Webull Wefolio. It's going to be literally like one of the easiest ways to track, to build, and edit, follow your portfolio on the go. So right now I am inside of my very own Webull app, and on the left-hand side, we are using in this video, an iPad. It will be very similar on a phone, just vertically and not horizontal. So in this situation, on the left-hand side, there's going to be a couple different options or little logos. We're going to go ahead and click on the bottom one, those four kind of square/circular dots, the bottom left. I'm tapping on it right now. You can kind of see it moving. And then from there, we're going to scroll down to where it says Wefolio. We're going to click on that option. Now here you can actually follow some portfolios if you would like to, but for the sake of this video, we're going to show you how to do this yourself. Okay, now there are a couple things I do want to cover before we get into the details of this. First, there's a $5 minimum per stock, and you should be aware of that, because if you build out a massive portfolio of like 1 million stocks, you need to deposit enough funds for them to be able to distribute them appropriately in those positions. So that will probably answer some questions that you may have later on if you've run into some troubles when you actually start funding the account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Create Wefolio. Okay, so from here, it's going to result to my watch lists and screeners and whatever. These are actually pretty old. I haven't actually updated some of these watch lists. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to just start typing in some additional. Actually, I'm going to scroll to the right-hand side. And if I were to go down to, let's say, my large cap tech watch list or my large cap trading watch list, these are most of the stocks, are pretty much the only stocks that I would trade on a day-to-day basis. If I am going to trade them. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to click on the plus sign to the far right on the scale or at the end of the screen. So those little plus signs, just to the right of the price. And this is going to add these stocks to my portfolio. So for example, let's say that I wanted to go with a couple different things, right? I wanted to get some tech exposure, I wanted to get some bond exposure, and then I want to get some dividend stock exposure. So we're going to cover all the bases here just like that, so we can kind of show you how this works. So if let's say I want to go with QQQ and get a really good exposure to the NASDAQ to tech stocks, click on the plus sign. Let's say I want to go over and I want to get TLT. I want to get access or get exposure to some bonds. So I'm going to add TLT. And let's say I wanted to add my favorite dividend stock, which is ticker symbol JEPI as of right now. Essentially, this ETF allows you to invest and get paid a monthly dividend to the order of, well, roughly the yearly dividends around 11-12%. As of the recording of this video, but monthly that gets split up into around 1% per month of what you have inside the stock and this ETF. So they sell covered calls on positions, and they have a really wide variety of stocks, and so really it's diversified. So we don't have to worry about having a lot of individual stock exposure with this portfolio example. But let's say that was my plan, right? I wanted to get some dividend exposure, I want to get some bond exposure, and I want to get some tech exposure as well, and kind of diversify those, or spread this money out. Okay, click on next. Actually, before that, this little button at the bottom next to the next button where it has that little 3 symbol, this is going to show me my selected stocks. I can clear that. I can clear individual ones by hitting the trash can, or clear all of them if I would like to. Let's say I'm good with that. Next. Now here's where it gets fun. So here is where we have the ability to split this up. We can actually still add stocks. You can see the little add stocks button. But here's where we can split things up. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to go with not a perfectly even weighting, which you could do, but I'm going to split this up my own way. So there's a couple buttons before I want to mention is the split button is going to evenly split. So it's going to average it out, and that's it. It's pretty straightforward. Historical performance, if I hit on this button, it's going to go collect some data and show me how my portfolio would have done over the past month, and that would be this blue line, versus the S&P 500, which is like the benchmark, past 6 months. So you'd see that the past 6 months, my portfolio would actually be up 5.42% versus the S&P only 3%, which is pretty cool to look at. And I can drop this down and compare this to the Dow, which has actually been down, and compare this to the NASDAQ, which has been up a lot. So you can see that if I had just the NASDAQ, I would have been a lot better. But I like to use the S&P as a good benchmark, and so that's pretty cool. So I would click on trade, but I'm going to go back a step. And so here's where I go back into these weightings, and I can adjust this. They have some options for you. Let's say that I wanted to go heavy tech, or let's say right now I don't want to go heavy tech because it's been actually very, very strong. I want to go 20% tech, and I want to go heavier into my dividend position. So let's say I want to go like 50%. Let me delete the percentages in TLT. I want to go 50% there. Let's say I want to go 30% TLT. Boom. So now we're good to go. So now I've got the weightings that all add up to 100 and we are good to go. I'm going to click on next and trade. So what it's going to now do is it is going to allow me to toggle between accounts at the top of the screen. And right now this is my individual account. So it will pull up whatever buying power that I currently have in that account, which in this case is around $4,000. And I can now buy the amount that I want to buy into this Wefolio. And this, my friends, is exactly how you do it. You can see the percentage weightings there. The dollar amounts will go in as I add money. Let's say I want to add $100. So I type in $100, market buy. We can only do a market buy here. They're not allowing options where I can do a limit buy. So it's only market. Okay. And so now if we scroll down, you'll see that we have amounts per each. In a $100 situation, it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to with the percentages, right? But let's say I wanted to deposit a random number. Let's say I wanted to deposit $58. It will just distribute that properly per stock. Now, if I wanted to deposit only $20, this is a problem because I can't actually deposit or less than $5 in QQQ. So let's make sure this number, the lowest amount in our amounts per stock is at least $5. So in this case, pop up 25 and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry. So my friends, that is exactly how you can build your own portfolios. This could be a great way to go about this if you want to create your own custom portfolio versus going out and having maybe a robo-advisor do this for you, paying some fees or some excess fees here and there. You'll still have to deal with the expense ratios of the stocks or ETFs that you buy, but this could avoid paying some excess fees that you may be paying for on other platforms or with other managers of your money. Any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section. Again, this is the Webull Wefolio platform. The links to Webull will be linked up down below. And you can get a bunch of free stocks when you sign up to a new account if you have not done so already. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.